Hey everybody, DBS TCG Central here. Welcome to another deck profile video. If you guys saw the thumbnail, you saw today that we're doing SS4 Sun Goku Guardian of History. So this is a black leader. It actually did really well in an Oceanus event recently, and it also got some support in the form of tournament pack cards that just got released, and also it has some support that came out in the anniversary box. So I thought this was a really good option, and I thought it was a super powerful leader, so I decided to make a deck revolving around him. I did get inspiration from one of the top decks that I saw this guy made with, and it is pretty strong. So we'll get started on the leader. And if you guys could, feel free to leave a like. And if you guys want to subscribe, it always helps the channel. And if you guys want to leave some comments about some future decks that you might want, feel free. And then I'll see what I can do. I want to try to make them as competitive as possible. And I do a lot of research on the decks to do it too. So feel free to leave a comment. All right, getting started with the leader. On his unawakened side, he is Son Goku. Auto, burst 3. When this card attacks, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand and then draw 1 card. So that's really good. You're drawing 2 cards per turn and self-awakening. And then his awaken is when you're at 4 or less life, you may draw 1 card, switch up to 1 of your energy to active mode, and then flip this card over. And then when he awakens, he is SS4, Son Goku Guardian of History. He has double strike inherently, which is always good because unlike battle cards, they can't get removed when they're being attacked. And also there's some cards that say battle cards can't attack, but your leader isn't privy to that. And he gets around a lot of the negates that they do have around. So it's got a permanent here. During your turn, this card gets 5,000 plus 5,000 power for every 8 battle cards in your warp. So I've gotten this guy up to a 25. I think I've gotten him up to a 30k once. And a 30k double strike is nothing to gawk at, especially when you have a swing with him like every turn. So it's super strong. And then active main, once per turn, place up to 4 battle cards from your warp into your drop area and then draw a card. So this will help us facilitate our Overwhelm. So this is really strong too. All the stuff that we warp from our overwhelming will go back into our drop rather than off the top of our deck. So it's not really going to drain us too much when we have to overwhelm all the time. So a lot of other decks, they'll just keep bursting, and then you'll lose a lot of the cards in your deck. So it's really good. But we'll start with the Z battle cards. First, we got some more self-awakeners just to help out. Even though we do self-awaken ourselves, just if we need to awaken early or on time, we run 2 of these guys. SSB Vegeta, Surmounting the Impossible. It's unique. It's why I only run 2. It has a permanent here that doesn't pertain to us, but I'll read it anyway. If your leader is a Son Goku BR, which it's not, Z leader, this card gets 10,000 power and double strike. Unfortunately, we do not get that ability, but we use it for the self-awakening auto here. Place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. When this card is played, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand and then draw 1 card. So pretty simple. It draws us a card when we take a life, as long as we discard 1. So if we need some filtering, it's always good. And this is the new Z battle card that came out in the anniversary set. This actually helps the deck a lot. So SS Son Goku for the mission. It's got critical. It's burst 3, so we could burst up to 6 cards in 1 turn if we burst with this guy and this. So we could use a 6-drop Overwhelm, no problem. Burst 3, if your leader is a black Son Goku Xeno only, and you place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. When this card is played, add up to 1 black Unison card with no specified cost and 10,000 power or less from your deck to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So I will show you which Unison that I prefer to use. There's a few other options, but I think the best one is the one I'll show you after this. Active main, once per turn, for every 7 black battle cards in your warp, this card gets 5,000 power for the turn. So he gets buffed up, and he can become, up to a 25k critical attacker. So it's super strong. So this is a really strong Z battle card, and it definitely supports this deck really well. And then to fill out my 7, because you need 7 cards in your Z battle deck, I guess you want to call it. We have Demon Guard Demigra Begrudging Ally. Unique. This card gets plus 2,000 power for each card in your Z energy. Auto once per turn. If it's your turn when you activate Overwhelm or Dark Overwhelm or play a black battle card from your warp, draw one card and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 6 or less and send it to their warp. So this is if it goes a little late game and you need some more removal out of nowhere. We also do play cards from our warp that will warp other battle cards. So basically, we'll put this guy down, we'll overwhelm, or we'll play a card from our warp. And when we do that, it'll warp 2 cards and you'll draw a card. So it's really helpful in a late game situation. But that's the Z Battle deck. And the Unison I was talking about, that this new card here supports the SS Son Goku, is Demigra Momentary Ally. So this card, its auto is once per turn, you can burst one. If your leader card is a Black Saiyan only or a God only card, when you play a battle card using Overwhelm, this card gains Wormhole. If you don't know what Wormhole is, it is an ability that if you play a card with Overwhelm, like it says on this battle Unison card, it'll allow you to overwhelm again. So you get overwhelm 2 times per turn, or dark overwhelm twice per turn. So usually it's only 1 time you can overwhelm, but with this it makes it so you can do it twice. It's great. And then +1, place up to 2 battle cards from your warp into your drop area, and that helps us with getting stuff out if we need to do a 6-drop overwhelm or whatever we need. And then its -3 is add up to 2 battle cards with energy cost 7 or less and the Overwhelm skill from your warp to your hand. So that could help us too if we need stuff back to our hand that we need to use for the turn. It acts almost like an extended hand, really. Our warp and our drop area, we can do really whatever we want with it. So we run 4 of those guys. And like I said, usually there was other Unisons that ran for this deck, and this was kind of meant for the Supreme Kai of Time deck, but they noticed that it really works well with this leader, so they found a way to get it out. All right, and then the next couple cards are ones that are pretty much staples in Black Burst decks right now. So the first one is Supreme Kai of Time, Guardian of Space-Time. So this is almost like a super pseudo combo here. It's got an auto. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, when this card is used in a combo, it gets another plus 5,000 combo power for the battle. So it becomes a 10k combo for 0 energy. So it's really strong. And then it's got an auto here. If your leader card is Black Saiyan, when this card is placed in your drop area from your deck by a skill, you may play this card from your drop area. So anytime we burst and we put stuff from the top of our deck in our drop, this will be able to get played for free. So it's really strong. And this card does not have unique, so you can put as many out as you get. So this is a very, very, very good card here. And it really helps us fill our Z energy because we want to combo a little bit more so that we get cards in our Z energy to play some of these Z battle cards. The next one we have here is Time Agent Trunks. So this one has unique. It also has blocker. When this card is played, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So it's also a Self-Awakener, which is good because, like I said, we want to be able to get to our awakened side when we want to. We don't want to prolong it, or we don't want your opponent attacking you at like 5 and then you can't awaken. So it's really good to have a good amount of Self-Awakeners in this deck. And then it's got another auto here, just like the Supreme Kai of Time. If you mill this card and hit your drop area, then you can play it for free. But just realize it does have unique, so you want to try to combo it off or block with it, and maybe it dies before you burst again on your next turn, something like that. Or if you want to just keep it up, you can. But that way you have a chance of getting another one out for free. So this is really good. And I often combo it off to help fill my Z energy before I burst again, just in case. And then the next card that we run here is Time Agent Vegeta. So this one has unique also. Permanent, if this card would be removed from your battle area, it's sent to its owner's warp instead, which is not a bad thing because we bring cards from our warp back into our drop with our leader. Auto, if your leader is a Black Saiyan card, when this card is placed in your drop area from your deck by a skill, then you may play this card for free, just like the other 2 cards. And then it's got an active battle here. Once per turn, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy costs 3 or less and send it to its owner's warp. So it's a little bit more removal. Paying 2 might seem like a lot, but a lot of these cards are free. So these are coming out for free, and our Overwhelm's coming out for free. So we do often have some free energy to spend if we need to use it. And if something's pesky 3-drop and you need to get rid of it, this guy's perfect for it. All right, so we'll get into our Overwhelm package now. The first one we run is Revived Ravager Vegeta. So this guy's great. Critical Overwhelm 3. So he's free as soon as you burst. When you play this card with Overwhelm, place up to 3 cards from the top of your deck into your drop area. So he is completely free. You will burst with this guy, and maybe you'll get one of these guys out. If not, it's fine. And then you can Overwhelm this guy with that burst 3, and then he'll put 3 more from the top of your deck into your drop area, which would allow you to play more of these guys if you don't have some of the ones with unique out already. And then not to mention he's a 15k attacker, which is great. Put some pressure on your opponent. So he is a great option for this. Plus he'll help with a few other things I'll get into later. All right, so next card we run is SS Sun Goku Xeno Reflective Strike. So this is the TP card I was talking about in the beginning of the video. Now this is kind of a weird card because it's kind of meant for the Supreme Kai of Time, but it actually works really well in this deck as well. So Overwhelm 3, it's got a counter ability. If your leader is a black Supreme Kai of Time, negate the counter skill and play this card, but that doesn't pertain to us. Active main, limit 1. If your leader card is a black Supreme Kai of Time, and you discard this card from your hand, look at the top 5 cards at the top of your deck, and add up to 1 black Son Goku Xeno or black Vegeta Xeno from among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. That one doesn't pertain to us. Down here, it has an active main. Send this card to its owner's warp. Draw 2 cards and send 1 card from your hand to your warp. We're using it for that ability. We Overwhelm for free. It's a good turn too. And then it just helps us self-awaken it helps our leader get a lot more cards in the warp when we need them. So, like I said, you get to draw a card. You draw 2 cards. You kind of like siphon through your deck by sending 1 card from your hand to your warp. So it just makes you see a lot more stuff, and it's a really strong option, I think. It's Overwhelm 3, then you can do the active main, you get more cards to your hand, and then you can start going in from there. Also, it helps with our Evolve, which I'll show you afterwards. So 3 of those guys. Some more Overwhelm package. Where are we here? We run 2 Dark Broly Heartless Berserker. Now, this card is, I'd say, the MVP in the deck. This thing, it's a 30k beat stick, first of all, but also you could play it from your warp. I'll read the card to you here. So, Overwhelm 6, which we get to easily with the way we're putting up to 6 cards in our deck with the Demigra, bursting with this, bursting with that. So when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to its owner's warp. No energy restriction, just anything without barrier, you can just get rid of, no problem. Active main, for 2 energy, if your leader card is black, you can play this card from your warp. So if we burst this and then we Overwhelm and it goes to our warp, we can actually play this card from our warp for 2 energy without Overwhelm, so it'll stay out and it'll be a 30k attacker. And it'll also warp a battle card. So this card just works really, really well with the deck. It's kind of like almost a staple in the deck for the leader. So we run 2 of these guys. The next Overwhelm we run is for SS4 Sun Goku Beyond All Limits. So this card's another Overwhelm 6 30k beat stick. Auto, if your leader card is black, when this card is played with Overwhelm, add up to 1 black battle card with energy cost between 3 and 7 from your warp to your hand. So I don't know if you could see, but all these battle cards and the ones I'm going to show you are all between 3 and 7. So it literally lets us get every single card back from our drop that we need. Now, it's strong. It definitely helps. And like you can get the Berserker back if you want to do it for free, if you want to Overwhelm with this guy, or you could pay 2, play this for free, get something else back. Maybe you want to Overwhelm twice because you'll have Wormhole. So you'll be able to play a Vegeta, play one of these guys, play this guy. So that's two 30k attackers and a critical 15k. And it's pretty much for free, all of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, really strong. And I'd say it's a staple in this deck too, but that's up to you guys. But I run 4 because it's really, really strong for whatever you need. So we also run 2 of these guys here just because if we need some barrier removal, some cheap barrier removal, something that's pesky in the beginning, this guy helps out a lot. So it's Gogeta Fearless Fusion. He's a blocker, so if you need a little bit more safety. Union Fusion, if your leader card is a black Saiyan only card, you can fuse with a Goku Xeno and a Vegeta Xeno, which we have plenty of. We have this Goku, we have this Vegeta, we have this Goku, but we also have some more I'll show you in a second. So permanent, if you can choose battle cards in your warp when choosing cards to use for this card's union skill. So if you do, you put the cards in the drop area after you fuse with them. So basically what you do with this is you pay 1 energy, and cards that are already in your warp from Overwhelming, some like Vegetas and Gokus, you could pay 1 energy and use them to play this guy out, and then those cards will go into the drop area, which will fill your drop area up for some more Overwhelm. So it's just the synergy with all of it is absolutely insane. It's got another auto here. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less, ignoring barrier, and send it to their warp. So a little bit of barrier removal for 4 or less. It's good for pesky things, like if you're playing Agents of Destruction, you need to get rid of that Bobbity, or anything else really that's low to the ground barrier, kind of helps the deck run. It really helps getting rid of that kind of stuff. So we run 2 of those guys. And then we run 1 of, because it is limited to 1, SS3 Gogeta Thwarting the Dark Empire. So same ability as this. You could choose cards from your warp to do this, but you could overwhelm it for 6 energy, or you can just fuse it. A Goku and a Vegeta from your warp. Permanent, if you could choose battle cards from your warp to use this card's Union Fusion, and if you do, you put them in your drop area after. When this card attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to its owner's warp. Really strong, but also it's a 25k double strike. So a little bit added pressure. And if you warp it or you send it to your drop or something like that, you can get it back with this guy here. So not a big deal having 1 copy, because if you put it in your drop, which you're putting tons of stuff in our drop, and then warping it from Overwhelm, you could actually just get it back with this guy here. So really, really strong in this deck, even though you can only play 1 copy. Another card that came out in the anniversary box is this card here. Mass Saying Belligerent Warrior. So it's got deflect, so it's always coming down. Permanent, if your leader card is black and you sent a card from your drop area to your warp this turn, so if you overwhelmed, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 6. So it turns into a 1-drop, 20k deflect. Limit 1 auto. When this card is played, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, send them to their owner's warps, and then this card gets critical for the turn. At the end of your opponent's turn, negate the skills of all cards sent to the warp by this skill and for the turn, and play them in their owner's battle areas. So for the turn, you get rid of some stuff, you warp it, and then they come back without their skills when they get played again. So this guy can really help early game, but also it's really strong late game. Maybe they have blockers or something, and you need to just get rid of them so you can get through for attacks. You pay 1 energy, play this guy, then you got a 20k critical that comes out for 1 energy, and then it warps 2 cards for the turn, and then they come back with other skills. It's a crazy, crazy card. It's super, super strong. So the anniversary box definitely helped out, and all you need to do is overwhelm for that to become 1 energy. So it's really, really good. So some of our defensive package here. Well, let's get into this one more aggressive card here. So we also run 2 of these guys here. It's SS God Trunks Power Awakened. So this guy, I feel like he's meant for this deck, but he was actually for the Trunks deck. He's got dual attack, deflect. If this card is removed from the battle area, it's removed from the game instead, because it's so strong, they don't want you doing it over and over again. When this card attacks, place up to 3 black battle cards from your warp to its owner's drop area. So that helps us with our Overwhelm. And then active main for 2 black energy. If your leader card is black and there are 8 or more cards in your warp, you can play this card from your warp. So for 2 energy and this is in your warp, you can just play it out for 2. And then it's a dual attack deflect, so it's always coming down. And then when it attacks, you can put up to 3 battle cards from your warp into your drop area. So you would overwhelm first, do your overwhelm thing, maybe overwhelm twice with the wormhole. And then when this is in your warp, you can play this and it'll attack twice. It'll put 2 more, 6 more battle cards back into your drop area. So technically you could burst, overwhelm, and then you'll gain wormhole. Then you'll play this guy from your warp. And then after this guy's out, you attack 2 times. You can put 6 more battle cards into your drop area, and then you can overwhelm a 6 drop. So it's just really, really good for the deck. It's an excellent card. And then some of our defensive package, we run 3 Petrification. If you guys don't know what it does, it's a counterattack. If your leader card is black, negate the attack, and then you may choose 1 card from your hand and place it in the drop area. And if you placed a card in the drop area, you can choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it can't attack or be placed in the opponent's combo area or activate skills until the end of their next turn. So it basically null voids 1 of their battle cards, and they can't do anything with it. So you can negate the attack, and then you can choose any other battle card on the battlefield too. So it doesn't have to be the card that you negated its attack with. So this is a really good staple for black right now. It's one of their best negates. And then we run 2 Super Kamehameha. So what it does here is counterplay. If your leader card is black and your life is at 4 or less, which it always is because we need to awaken there. If a battle card being played has an energy cost of 3 or less, it's sent to its owner's warp instead of being played, which is really good for all the floodgates. So if they're trying to floodgate you, this will just stop it from happening. You can pay 1 energy, or if you have only black cards in your energy and your life is at 4 or less, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding 1 card from your life to your hand instead of paying its energy cost. So this also becomes free if you want to sacrifice a life to get this to get played for free, because all our battle cards are black. That also works, and like I said, this has a lot of free plays in this deck, so it's pretty crazy. So that's really to help against anything that's pesky that you don't want down, that's 3 or less, or basically any of the floodgates that come out. Then we run 2 Support the Dark Empire. So if you don't know what this card does, it is it helps us self-awaken if we need it to, but counter attack. If your leader card is mono black, negate the attack and then play 1 Demon Realm Soldier token and it gains blocker for the turn. And permanent, if you have 5 or less life, you can activate this card's counter skill by adding 1 card from your life to your hand instead of paying the energy cost. So if you're at 5 energy and you got this guy in your hand, you can negate the attack for free by taking a life, and then it puts out a blocker token, which will block another attack. So they could potentially block 2 attacks, so it's really good. All right. And then next is our super combo, which is SS Vegeta, the Prince Strikes Back. This is also an evolved target for any of these, the Gogeta or this Thwarting the Dark Empire Gogeta. And it's just a strong super combo. If your leader is black and your life is at 4 or less and all your energy is black, when this card is used in a combo, it gets 10,000 combo power for the battle, and then you choose 1 card in your hand and place it in the bottom of your deck, and then if you do, you could draw 2 cards. So just a super combo that lets you draw 2 cards by getting something rid of something useless that you might have in your hand. Then we run 2 of our black floodgates. Here is Oceana Shinron, Negative Energy Explosion. So this is our floodgate for black. It's a counterattack. Choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. Negate the attack and then play this card. If you played a card, your opponent can't attack for the turn unless they place 4 cards from their deck into their drop area each time. So it kind of is like a way to mill them out. And after they attack twice, they might be a little sketched out. They might lose like 8 cards, maybe, 12 cards, and then they might have a chance of getting milled out, but also lose a lot of valuable stuff they need for their deck. Permanent during your opponent's turn, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3. So it becomes a 2-drop. If your leader card is a Shadow Dragon, this doesn't pertain to us, but if your leader card is a Shadow Dragon card, when this card is played from your hand or discarded by a Shadow Dragon's card skill, you may look at the top card of your deck. If it's black Shadow Dragon card, you may add it to your hand. Otherwise, place it at the bottom of your deck. So that's just for black Shenron. But this is our Floodgate, and it works pretty well. It's also a blocker. So you'll play it, negate the attack, and if they attack once, then they'll have to deal with dropping 4 cards, and you'll block it, and then they'll attack again, and then there'll be 8 cards. And if they want to do anything else crazy, then they're just going to lose a bunch of cards that are going to go in their drop. They could lose their secret rare. They could lose negates that they need in their hand. So they kind of stop attacking after this goes down. And then our secret rare of choice is Pan the Patrol Maiden, I guess it's called. I never knew that. I just know I call it Pan. Ultimate counterattack. If your leader, if you have 3 or more energy, play this card. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the turn. You can't activate the counter skills of copies of this card for the game. Permanent, for each battle card in play, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. And then active main, you pay 1 energy, remove this card from the game, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and you gain control of it. So with this thing, the Cumbered SCR might be a better choice. I just don't own it. But this is really good too. It's kind of like a little bit of a floodgate, but we are very aggressive. So if we do get this in our hand, it's basically a free battle card, free 40k attacker that I can get out for free. And if I pay 1 energy, I can take control of another battle card that my opponent controls. So we want to attack with all this free stuff and really get it in. And once we think we have enough damage done, like maybe 1 damage left or something like that, we can drop this as a surprise. And it's a free 40k attacker. So that's the one I chose. I think I'm going to try to actually get the Cumber, because the Cumber can actually get played from your warp and everything too. So it's a little bit more consistent, especially in case we burst it. But that's the deck profile, guys. I hope you liked it. I will come up with a few more deck profiles with all this new stuff and all the new support. Everything's kind of just like finding its place, and the power levels and everything like that are kind of getting evened out, and people are figuring out their ways around everything. So as soon as I see another interesting deck that is super competitive, I'm going to make a deck profile about it. And I also have some versus videos coming out soon. So I'll have those to you probably by tomorrow or the next day. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you guys want to check out the description below, I do have a Facebook and Instagram and eBay where I sell a lot of my leftover and extra cards from going to tournaments. So if you guys are interested in that, take a look. I'll have all the links down there. So whatever you need, you can go check out. But I appreciate you guys coming by, and I'll see you guys on the next one.